My name is Micah Grenz, and I'm the promotions manager at South Dakota State University.
Okay.
My job description is changing. The part that they emphasize most is other duties as assigned. So it changes all the time. Some of it depending upon, like with the Daktronics project that we brought in, that's a major part of my job now. That's not in my job description. It's just something that's kind of morphed into that based on what we've been able to do and the opportunities we've had as an athletic department. So as far as promotions, is getting the word out on our events, making relationships with people, hopefully long-standing relationships that can be passed on, so it's not just something I set up. It's a program that I've set up to be successful in 15, 20 years that anybody could carry it on once I leave, if I do. Even when we talk about weeks and weeks before, that gets down to making sure that everybody that's involved in the game knows when the game is going to be taking place. That's the first step that we have to take. The second step is starting on the video production and things like that we have to do with Daktronics. With that being a very visual piece of our events, we need to make sure that that part's in place too. So those will start, those will be one of the first parts of the process that we'll begin with.
Okay.
Day of the game is going to be making sure that people that we have coming in for tickets and things like that, if we have special guests coming in, making sure that their tickets are in place. We have people that we honor every game, part of our Jackrabbit Top program, so making sure that their tickets are in place, making sure they have their agenda so that they know exactly where they need to be and when. Just setting up for the event, making sure our sound system's set up, making sure that all of our cameras are working. We work with our Daktronics crew on that, but we just did that right before I came over here this morning, running through the script, making sure they have the correct video and that they have it in the right place. Have a copy of our announcer script. Our announcer script is 21 pages long for a game like tonight, and so reading through that, making sure there's no spelling errors, making sure the pronunciations of all the names are there correctly. So okay. Those are some of the main duties on game day. It's a fun process. It's like putting together a big puzzle, and even for Daktronics, we have a totally separate script so that their cameras need to know exactly where they need to be and when. The order that things are coming, what sponsor logos need to go on the video board with which ads and stuff like that. So it's a big puzzle. Sometimes the puzzle goes together easier than other times. Some of it depends on what's going on for the game. Like tonight we're recognizing Nancy Niebuhr, who's worked for the university for 25 years. And so when you look at putting together a script like that, you have a lot of people you need to talk to make sure you have the correct information. So one like that would take a lot more time than, say, if we have a game going on or a contest involving students. One of those probably wouldn't take as much time because while you have to have the rules read and stuff like that, the action itself takes the place of somebody talking. And so that wouldn't take as long. But when you look at the proofreading and things like that, we read through everything at least 3, if not 4 times. And so that, when you're looking at a length of a script, takes about the same amount of time, regardless of what content we have in there. I would say they've changed, but they've become more specific. I'm not doing anything different than what I did before, but I've actually lost some things because, okay, instead of having to do all these things, you just only have to do these few things, but they need to be done better. And so that's the fun part of it, is finding out which things I enjoy best, which things I feel we can be the best at, and then just going to my supervisor and saying, all right, this is what we're going to focus on. What help can we get in these other areas? A lot of it too, realistically, we work harder now to get people out to games than we did at Division II because they were showing up. They knew USD would be here, they knew UND would be here, those schools. Just like tonight with SDSU coming in. We realistically didn't do as much advertising for this game as we do for other games because people are going to show up. And you advertise when you need to. And so we work harder now than we did then, but the Daktronics project has changed our responsibilities too. Most interesting thing about my job, games are the most interesting because as we talked about before with the contest, you can put all the planning you want to in the world, and once it gets out there, it's there, and you're going with it. We call games organized chaos a lot of times because we have our script and we're going to go by it. But if something happens to deviate from the script, we just go with that and move on too. So games would be the most interesting and fun. I'm a big sports fan, and you don't have to be in this position, but it certainly helps.